Alright, what is up, you beautiful bastards? It is good to be back. Hopefully all of you are doing well. So we're setting up for day one of OSUT today. We got day one and day three going on at the same time today. I am doing day one. Sergeant Myers is doing day three at the same time. So today is going to be fun. Let's see, so we got Foster, Montez, and Stark in my class, which Foster and Stark are there, so we're waiting on Montez and Bose to get in here. And again, hello everyone. Hopefully you guys are all having a nice Saturday afternoon. Hey, what's up, Caldwell? How is Qatar treating you? Turn them into ammo donkeys? We'll see. Maybe they won't be worthy of ammo donkeys. Had a nice Christmas? Right on. They give you a special meal? Actually, you're in fucking Qatar. You can get pretty much whatever the fuck you want. At least if you're stupid. If you're smart, you eat on base. But if you're stupid, go out and blow your fucking money. New mic? No, same mic I've had for a couple months now, I think. Actually, it's been fucking few months. I don't know why the hell it would sound any different. Just want to hear your sweet voice wreck some new PV1s. Yeah, that's usually how it is. 2 classes tomorrow as well, yeah. Oh, maybe that's why my mic sounded different. I had it fucking turn around backwards. Does that sound any better for you guys? Yeah, it tends to help if I actually have my mic facing the correct way. And yes, there is game sound, guys, but right now I just have it muted in case one of these fucking retards say the server password or something. Stick it in your nose. How about I stick it up your ass? I do not remember telling you guys to fucking move. I don't care now. Future reference is generally a better fucking idea to ask before you go hopping in my class. Right? Smith always slacking and shit. Damn it. Hit the right fucking buttons, bro. Alright. I'm gonna let it slide for now, but Montez, you need to get rid of that MBG Killhouse shit. You load into one of my servers again with extra mods turned on, I will boot you from it. Alright. Now it looks like we finally got everybody in here. I've seen geriatric fucking porns move quicker. Welcome to One Station Unit Training. Here in OSUT is where we're going to teach you the basics of being an infantryman within this unit. We're going to take you through 4 days of training, each day teaching you something new and building upon what you have learned the days previous. We're going to teach you the vital skills of shoot, move, communicate, survive, and sustain. Today we're going to be going over how to shoot and communicate. Firstly, we're going to be going over how to communicate, because that is hands down the most important aspect of what we do. If we do not use proper communication and radio protocols, it's all lost. Now, throughout your 4 days here in OSUT, you will have a lot of information thrown at you. On day 4, you will do what is known as an FTX, a field training exercise, where we will take you out into a live fire operation and grade you based upon your performance afterwards. After that debrief, you will then take an oral quiz based upon the knowledge that you have learned in the previous 3 days. You are allowed to use any notes that you take on said oral quiz. I guarantee you, if you take notes, you will not fail that quiz. Now, one important thing to keep in mind throughout your time here within the training pipeline, both for myself and the rest of my training cadre, nothing here is personal. At points, when we debrief you, critique your performance, we will point out every little flaw that you make. It will be very rare that we give you a compliment. Simple fact is, it is not our job to coddle fuck you. It is our job to point out your fuck-ups so that you do not continue to make them. I will tell you that I have a reputation in this unit as being an asshole. That reputation is 100% true and earned. I take my job very fucking seriously. Because at the end of the day, when you get to your final billet, I am the one that's responsible for you. I am responsible for all training within this unit. So you get to your final billet and fuck up and get your team killed, that's on me. I do not take that lightly. So do not be surprised if I am very harsh in my critiques. But understand, again, it is not personal. I give absolutely zero fucks about your personal feelings or opinions. All I care about is the job. You do the job right, and I'm happy. You do it wrong, and you're going to find out what it's like when I'm not happy. Does everybody understand what I have told you thus far?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Alright, then what we're going to be doing first is heading over to the classroom for some lectures. As I said, firstly, we're going to be going over to some communication. So I'm going to teach you guys how to program your radios and how to actually speak on them without sounding like a fucktard. Now, before we get to the classroom, that classroom is indoors. So before you step foot through that fucking threshold, you will remove your cover. Your cover is your hat. So before you step through my door, you will remove your hat, walk inside, and look to your left. To your left is going to be a box. Inside that box is going to be AN/PRC 152 short-range radios. You are each going to grab one radio, walk up to the front of the classroom, and sit down in the seats, filling from front to back. Does everybody understand that?
Yes, for Sergeant.
Yes, for Sergeant.
All right, follow me. Alrighty. Hey, Cy. Had vacation in California and Oregon? Nice, man. Chris M ended up winning the raffle PC, and I'm actually going to be meeting up with him to give that away here actually next week. So hopefully I'll be able to have some pictures of the meetup and giving him the PC and everything that I'll be sharing on the podcast, the first podcast of the new year. You can't load day 2 and day 3 at the same time. You can only load one day at a time. Like the motherfucking soap opera. He said he's gonna play ArmA now. Before he couldn't because he didn't have a good enough PC, but now he definitely fucking does because he's got a better PC than I do. Fucker. Look at the chair. Use your Ace Interact key, which by default should be your Windows key, and select sit down. If you guys stare at the chairs any harder, they're going to burst into fucking flames. Private Reed, go ahead and have a walk across these guys' lap and help them sit down all the way. Alright, so, as I said, first thing we're going to do is go over communications, working with the radios. Now, the first part of that is going to be how to actually program your radio. So I want all of you to hold Control and press P as in Papa and open up your short-range radio. You should see a big green block on your screen. Does everybody see that?
Yes, for Sergeant.
Yes, for Sergeant.
All right. I'm going to take you through what everything on this radio does before we actually program it. So, starting from the top, that middle stalk with the numbers on it, that is your volume control. Right-click, it increases. Left-click, it decreases. I generally leave mine at the default volume of 80. Loud enough to hear over a firefight, but not so loud it's going to rape your fucking eardrums. Moving down from there, you have that light green rectangle. That is your display. That gives you two pieces of information. The current channel and the current frequency of that channel. Understand that a channel and a frequency are two different things. Moving down from there to the actual buttons themselves. At the top right corner, you have the CLR button, or the clear button. That is how you will clear a frequency. Moving down from there, you have the ENT, or enter button. That is how you will set a frequency. Beneath that, you have the PRE plus and PRE minus. That is how you change channels. Plus goes up a channel, minus goes down a channel. Alternatively, you can use the number pad on your keyboard to quickly switch channels. Next to that, you have the right-facing arrow along the bottom row there. Do not ever click the fucking right-facing arrow. That will set your short-range radio to speakers. We never set our short-range radio to speakers. If you do, anytime that someone keys up on that frequency, it will be broadcast to everyone around you. And those of us wearing headsets will want to rip your fucking head off because oftentimes it causes feedback. So don't do it. Next to that, you have the left-facing arrow. Left-facing arrow is how you set an additional channel. It is a way to monitor and broadcast on two channels. Very handy for anyone in a leadership position. Lastly, bottom left corner, the 0 button. That is your stereo settings key. That is so you can make it so that a channel is heard through only one ear. Incredibly handy when you're listening to multiple frequencies. Does everybody understand the keys that I have gone through so far?
Yes, First Sergeant.
All right. Now the other keys, the 1 through 9 in the field, if you will, do absolutely dick. So imagine they're not there. So what we're going to do now is actually program your radio. So I want you to hit that top right button, that CLR, and clear that frequency. So it should say C1 and then a blank. Now you are going to type in the numbers 100.1 and then click that ENT button and set the frequency to 100.1. Now once you have the frequency set, you're going to go down to the bottom left corner to that stereo settings button and click it once. You should see that box pop up in the bottom right corner saying left ear only. Now once you have done that, I want you to hit the PRE plus button or the number 2 on your number pad and go to channel 2. So you will see that it will change from Charlie 1, 100.1 to Charlie 2 and a random series of numbers. Does everybody see that?
Yes, First Sergeant.
All right, now I want you to hit the CLR and type in the numbers 100 and then set the frequency. Once your frequency is set, I want you to go down to that left-facing arrow, the Set Additional Channel, and click that once. It'll change it from Charlie 2 to Alpha 2. Once you have done that, you're going to go to that stereo settings button and click it twice. So it'll say Additional Right Only. And once you have done that, I want you to click the PRE minus and go back to channel 1. This is important to remember. Anytime that you set up an additional channel, you need to be sure that you go back to your primary channel. Otherwise, you will not be able to hear it. The additional channel is exactly that. Additional. You hear it in addition to your primary net. So you have to make sure that you always go back to your primary. Everybody understand that?
Yes, First Sergeant.
Whoever it is that has control set to their caps lock set to their push to talk in TeamSpeak, you're going to want to change that. Because as you just found out, the default control to speak on the short range radio is caps lock. Not a good idea. Now the default control to talk on your alternate channel is Tango. So if you press caps lock, it talks on channel 1. If you press Tango, it speaks on channel 2 or your alternate channel. Do not start hitting caps lock now. I do not need to hear your radio squawking in my fucking ear. Now that we know how to actually program the radios, next thing we're going to do is go over some of the different verbiage that we use on the radios. Now the first thing we're going to go over is phonetics. Phonetics play a pretty big role in what we do here. First part being the phonetic numerals. Phonetic numerals are pretty much the exact same as normal everyday numerals with 3 exceptions. Those exceptions are the numbers 3, 5, and 9. 3, 5, and 9 pronounced phonetically is tree, like the thing with fucking leaves on it, fife, F-I-F-E, and niner. Everybody knows niner. Now, it does not mean every time you say the numbers 3, 5, and 9 on the fucking radio, you need to say tree, fife, niner. However, if there is any chance that it could be confused with something else you're saying, or someone else asks you to say again whatever those numbers were, then that is where you will use phonetics. Next, we have phonetic alphabet. Now, the phonetic alphabet, very simple. You probably already know most of them. Alpha, Bravo, Charlie, Delta, Echo, Foxtrot, Golf, Hotel, so on. We use the NATO phonetic alphabet, not the civilian one with Adam, Boy, Charles, fucking whatever that fruity shit is. NATO phonetic alphabet. Alright, pretty goddamn simple. Now the next thing we're going to get into is something known as pro words, or procedure words and phrases. Now, procedure words and phrases are essentially a way to pass large amounts of information while saying very little. It allows us to achieve something known as brevity, right? Saying a lot of shit without actually saying a lot of shit. Right? The thing you have to keep in mind when talking on the radio is that the majority of radio nets or frequencies have 4+ people that could need to talk on them at any given time. So when you take into account things like squad net, or especially things like platoon net, where you have 4 squad leaders, platoon leader, a platoon sergeant, and a platoon medic that could all need to talk at the exact same time, you need to be very quick with your words and very clear and concise. So the first one we're going to go over is break. Break indicates separation of text from the rest of the message. All right, essentially, think of it as a period in a sentence. All right, so if you're sending a long message on the radio and you need to stop and take a breath, say break, let go of your fucking transmit key, rekey your radio, and then continue on with your message. Do not be one of those asshats that says break and just continues transmitting your message, because it defeats the fucking purpose of saying break. So you say break, let go of your transmit key, take a breath, get your fucking Zen on, rekey, and then send the rest of your traffic. Now, break is also used in a succession of 3 to break all traffic on a frequency. So, if someone is mid-message on the radio and someone else keys up right over top of them and says break, 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 priority traffic, that immediately tells that other person that was talking to shut the fuck up. I have a message that is more important than yours. And yes, there are messages that are more important than others. Right? If someone's saying break, 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 priority traffic, then they're probably relaying very pertinent information about troop movement, current status of that unit, so on and so forth. Alternatively, the highest level of traffic is emergency traffic. So even if someone says break, 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 priority traffic, and they start sending their message, someone else could still come over top of them and say break, 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 emergency traffic. That trumps all. Emergency traffic, for instance, would be something like a T-72 rolling up on your fucking nutsack. That's emergency traffic. You now get priority on the radio. Next one we have is correction. Correction means an error has been made in this transmission. Transmission will continue with the last word correctly sent. All right, so if you're sending a message and say it contains grid coordinates and you fuck up those grid coordinates, don't go and fumble fuck all over your words on the radio. Just say correction, take a breath, go back to where you were last correct, and carry on with your transmission. Next one we have is disregard. Disregard, pretty goddamn simple. Exactly as the word means. You disregard it. You act as if you never heard it. Next one we have is I read back, or simply read back. Read back can be used as a command as well as a response. So if I give you a grid coordinate of 160168 and say read back at the end of my message, then you would respond with I read back grid 160168. Pretty simple. Next, we have over. Over means this is the end of my transmission to you, and a response is necessary. Go ahead and transmit. So you say over at the end of every transmission. Next one we have is out. Out means this is the end of my transmission to you, and a response is not necessary or expected. Okay, so it means the conversation is done. You say out at the end of your last message. However, you do not say out if you are not the initiating calling station. What that means is, if someone else calls you on the radio, you say over at the end of every one of your messages. They are the ones that say out. Think of it like a phone call. They hang up the phone first, not you. They started the call. They decide when the conversation is over. Now, there's only one exception to this. Higher does have the authority to out you. What I mean by higher is your chain of command. If they're higher than you in the chain of command, they have the authority to out you. If they have higher priority traffic that they need to get to, and you're fucking rambling on in their ear, they can key up, say, out, and then continue on with their business. And you can call them back later, or they'll probably call you back. But again, over means I need a response. Out means I do not. So understand that they mean two completely different things. And for that reason, do not ever say over and out on the fucking radio. It is made up Hollywood bullshit. No one says it. You look like a fucking idiot when you do. They are two different things. Next, we have Roger. Roger simply means I have received your transmission satisfactorily. All right, in layman's terms, means I heard you. That is it. Next one, Wilco, stands for will comply. It is a response to an order given. So understand that Roger means something completely different from Wilco. So much like over and out, do not ever say Roger Wilco on the fucking radio. They mean two different things. Roger simply means I heard you. Wilco is a response to an order given. So if someone passes you information, then you would simply say Roger. If they give you an order to be carried out, then you would say Wilco. The other one that people oftentimes fuck up with on that is the usage of affirm or affirmative, meaning yes. Okay? Affirm is not a response to a fucking order given. Affirm is a response to a question asked. Someone gives you an order to carry something out, you do not say affirm. Affirm simply means yes. That is not a fucking positive answer to a yes or no, or to a order given. It is a positive answer to a yes or no question, in which no would be negative. All right, you guys understand the difference of how that works?
Yes, First Sergeant.
First Sergeant.
All right. Next, we have this is. This is means this transmission is from the designation which immediately follows. The designation being the calling station. Understand that there is one call sign within the infantry. That call sign is Havoc. Everybody in the entirety of fucking first platoon, Alpha Company, is known as Havoc. That's our call sign. Rotary has a different call sign. Fixed wing has a different call sign. All infantry forces have the same fucking call sign, Havoc. We do, however, have different calling stations. Our station is essentially our name on the radio, because we do not use names on any radio net below squad net. All right, so squad net, we use our calling stations. Fire team level, you don't have a calling station. You use your name. Some guys will use numbers or colors or stuff like that, but you can use your name at a fire team level. But for fire team leaders and above, we all have calling stations. My calling station is Havoc 7. I am the only Havoc 7 in the entire unit. So if someone says Havoc 7 on the radio, I am the only fucking person they can be talking about. So the usage of this is incredibly important. That lets whoever it is you're calling know who it is that's calling them. All right, think of it like fucking caller ID. So you're going to start out every single transmission using this phrase. And I want you to sear it into your fucking brain. Hey you, this is me. Hey you, this is me. That's how you're going to start every transmission. All right. So if I was, for instance, calling the platoon leader for first platoon, whose calling station is Havoc 1-6, I would say, Havoc 1-6, this is Havoc 7, over. And then wait. Because we work on a call and response system. Now I need a response. So I said over. and then wait. Because I don't know what he's currently doing. He could be in the middle of the most hellacious firefight he's ever seen. I have no idea. So I would say Havoc 1-6, this is Havoc 7, over. Wait, and then he would respond back. Havoc 7, this is Havoc 1-6, send traffic, over. And then I would carry on with whatever message I have to send him. Now again, we do that so that there is no questioning on who you could be talking to on the radio. When you say, hey you, this is me, there is only one person you could possibly be calling, and there is only one person they could possibly be responding to. And while those two are talking, everybody else keeps their fucking mouth shut unless they have priority or emergency traffic. Until one of those people on the radio says out, think of that phone as being busy. You cannot fucking speak unless you have priority traffic. Does everybody understand that?
Yes, sir, Sergeant.
All right. Now, the last thing we're going to go over here is how to do a radio check. Radio checks are incredibly important to us, which is why we do them every single time we go into a server and get geared out. Those radio checks ensure that we have clear, concise communication from point to point. So, in order to do a radio check, generally, at a fire team level, you're going to be lined up in a PCC formation, pre-combat check formation, oftentimes, which is a file. You're going to have a fire team leader up front, then the AR, then the grenadier, and then the rifleman. And you'll go right down the line doing your radio checks. Here today, we're going to do that, but in a horizontal fashion. So you guys are going to go from right to left and do your radio checks. Now, to do a proper radio check, generally, doing a radio check, you don't know who is on that radio frequency yet. So you don't have a specific person you can call on that radio, which is why oftentimes when doing a radio check, you will hear guys say, any station this net. All right, any station this net means that anybody on that frequency can respond to you. So they'll say, any station this net, this is so-and-so, radio check, frequency, whatever the fucking frequency is, over. All right, so very quickly, for example, if I was doing a radio check, I would say, any station this net, this is Havoc 7, radio check, frequency 100.1, over. And then I would wait for someone to respond. They would then respond back, you know, Havoc 7, this is so-and-so, read you Lima Charlie, frequency 100.1, over. So they respond back with Lima Charlie, or loud and clear, or they can also respond back with the numerical scale of 1x5 to 5x5. 5x5 meaning loud and clear, 1x5 meaning broken and unreadable. They also say back what frequency I'm doing the radio check on. And then they say over, because they didn't initiate the call, I did. So then I would respond back to them to close out the transmission, solid copy, out. Now it's done. Radio check is over with. Alright, so again, to go through it. Any station this net, this is Havoc 7, radio check, frequency 100.1, over. They'd respond back, Havoc 7, this is so-and-so, read you Lima Charlie on frequency 100.1, over. Roger, out. That quick, that simple. Alright, everybody think they got a grasp of that?
Yes, sir, Sergeant.
Yes, for Sergeant. Yes, for Sergeant.
Alright. Now, before we actually go into the radio check, just in case one of you guys fucking say it before I get a chance to actually go over it. The last thing to go over when it comes to the radios is the most important. Not because necessarily it's the most dangerous, but mostly because it is a way to practice discipline. And without discipline, this unit doesn't exist. That is the usage of the procedure phrase of say again. Say again is a simple way to tell someone to repeat what they have just said. Now you may wonder, why in the fuck wouldn't we just say repeat then? The simple reason is, it's fucking dangerous. The more complex reason is, repeat is used to repeat a fire mission from mortars or a cast run from air support. So if they hear the word repeat, they immediately re-attack the same target that they just hit. Now granted, our guys are incredibly well trained, and I not for a second think that they would ever repeat a fucking fire mission because some random PV2 fuckface said repeat as they ran by him, but I'm not going to take that chance because I prefer to not have a mortar up my asshole. So you will never say the word repeat. You will use say again. So much so that the majority of guys here use say again in normal everyday fucking conversation because it will be drilled into your head so much. And I can tell you this, throughout your 4 days here in OSUT, if I at any goddamn point in time hear you say the word repeat, I will immediately drop a mortar on your nutsack. Is that understood?
Yes,
Sergeant.
Alright. So now we are going to do our radio checks. And again, you guys are going to work from right to left. So Foster, you're going to do your radio check first. Montez, you're going to respond to him until we get right on down to Bose. Bose, when you do your radio check, Foster's going to respond to you. Everybody tracking on that?
Yes, Sergeant.
All right, Foster, take it away.
Any station on this net, this
they're
is
going to fuck it up.
J. Foster, radio check frequency 100.1, over.
Not bad so far.
Richie, this is Private Montez on 1001. I forgot the rest of it.
Told you. Try it again from
Solid
the start.
copy, over.
You didn't solid copy shit.
Do I say solid copy?
If someone shits the bed, you do not fucking spray Febreze on it and say it smells great. Restart from the top.
So I say, First Sergeant, real quick, I say read you again and then my name and then the frequency correct. And then I forgot the rest of it there.
You say back to him his name. So you still use, hey you, this is me. So you'd say, Foster, this is Montez. Read you Lima Charlie, frequency 100.1, over. Got me?
So Foster, this is Montez, radio frequency 110, and then over.
Foster, this is Montez. Read you Lima Charlie, frequency 100.1, over. Got it?
Okay, got it.
Good, because if I hold your hand any fucking more, you're going to have to propose. Foster, start it off.
Any station on this net, this is Private Foster, radio check frequency 100.1, over.
Read you, Foster, this is Montez. Shit. Can you try that again, please?
Any station on this net, this is Private Foster, radio check frequency 100.1, over.
Foster, this is Montez. Read you, Lima Charlie, radio frequency 100.1.
Solid copy, over.
Stark, you want to tell me what they fucked up? You don't need to use your fucking radio to do it.
Sorry, he said over when he should said out.
And Montez didn't say over at all. Let's try it again from the top.
Any station on this net, this is Private Foster, radio check frequency 100.1, over.
Foster, this is Montez. Read you, Lima Charlie 1001. Radio frequency 1001. Over.
Solid copy, out.
Alright. Good enough. Wasn't exactly the fucking prom queen, but it was her chubby friend. Let's keep it going. Montez, you're next.
Any station on this net, this is Private Montez. Check on 1001. Over.
Private Montez, this is Private Stark. Radio 5x5 room, frequency 100.1, over.
Close it out, Montez.
What did I forget, sir?
I am sure as shit not a sir.
First Sergeant.
This is where you say solid copy out.
Okay.
Solid copy out.
Remember, you started the call, so it's your responsibility to end it. Stark,
Yes.
keep it going.
Training station in this net, this is Private Stark. Radio check on frequency 100.1 over.
Stark, this is Bose. I have you loud and clear on.
You are
frequency
not transmitting
100.
on the radio, Bose.
Stark, this is.
Still not transmitting on the radio. Ensure that you are using caps lock to transmit.
Yeah, my shit's fucked up. Give me a minute there, First Sergeant.
If your shit's fucked up, you should probably call a proctologist, which I am not one. However, I will tell you, if you go to configure, controls, configure add-ons, and down to your TFAR, that is the very last option in the drop-down. Scroll all down to about 3/4 of the way down to where it says SW Transmit. Make sure that says caps lock. If it does not say caps lock, then change it to caps lock or something else that is fucking comfortable. Outstanding. Now you're pissing like a big girl. Let's try this again.
Should I start from the top, First Sergeant?
Yep.
20 station in this net, this is Private Stark. Radio check on 100.1 over.
Let's try that again on the correct frequency. Try using caps lock instead of tango.
Stark, this is Bose. Have you Lima Charlie, 100.1. Over.
I would like to know how you heard him on 100.1 when he is transmitting on 100. That is some David Copperfield type shit right there.
Alright, then again.
20 station in this net.
You are still transmitting on 100. Use caps lock and not tango.
20 station in this net, this is Private Stark. Radio check on 100.1 over.
Stark, this is Bose. I have you Lima Charlie, frequency 100.1 over.
Roger, out.
Out fucking standing. Alright, Bose finished it off.
Foster, this is Bose. Radio check, frequency 100.1 over. Bose, this is Foster. Read you Lima Charlie, over. Bose, 5x5. Loud and clear, out.
Alright, that was decent, with the exception of Foster. You didn't say back the frequency that he was doing the radio check on. Also, Bose, you don't need to say 5x5, Lima Charlie. They mean the same fucking thing. Redundancy is killer on the radio.
Roger, First Sergeant.
You also don't need to use your radio to say Roger to me. Alright. Now, does anybody have any questions on the protocol of doing a radio check?
No, First Sergeant.
No, First Sergeant.
No, First Sergeant.
Outstanding. Now, this is something that you are going to get plenty of fucking practice at. Because, as I said, every time you load into a server and get geared up, you're going to be doing a fucking radio check. So, it is something you're going to be doing a lot. Now, next thing we're going to move on to is some weapons familiarization. Now, we're going to be doing this before we actually head out to the range and put these weapons in your hands. This is a good point to start taking notes if you're too stupid and haven't been already. Now, the first weapon we're going to be covering is the M4 carbine. The M4 carbine is standard issue for us. Everyone carries it with the exception to machine gunners and pilots. The M4 is a lightweight gas-operated air-cooled magazine-fed shoulder-fire weapon that is chambered in the 5.56 NATO round capable of semi-automatic and fully automatic fire. It has a point target range of 500 meters and an area target range of 600 meters. Now, does anybody have a guess as to the difference between a point target and an area target?
Point
No,
target
First Sergeant.
have precision for to aim.
Well, you're close. Point target means you can accurately engage an individual target. Area target means you can suppress the area of that target. Now, that does not mean that the M4 is not capable of killing beyond 500 meters. It is lethal well fucking beyond that. However, it is not as accurate. So point target is 500 meters. Anything inside of that, you can accurately engage and drop. 600 meters, you are no longer going to be as accurate. You are going to be suppressing the area of that target. Next weapon system we're going to cover is the M320 grenade launcher. The M320 is a lightweight 40mm launcher that can be operated in the standalone or the attached configuration, or the UGL, underslung grenade launcher. It's really the only variation we use is the UGL. It is attached to the bottom of the Picatinny rail of the M4. Now, we also use the M203, which is the older brother to the 320. However, through your time here in OSUT, you will be using the 320 exclusively. Now, the 320 is a breech-loading 40mm grenade launcher that can engage targets accurately up to 350 meters. Now, much like the M4, that does not mean that the 320 cannot engage beyond 350 meters. However, you're not going to be as accurate. I have personally engaged targets at 500 meters with the 320. But you got to throw a lot of what they call Kentucky fucking windage on it. Now, the 320 is capable of firing multiple different munitions types. First and foremost, HE, or high explosive. That is used for infantry. Next, we have HEDP, or high explosive dual purpose, used for entrenched enemies as well as vehicles. Next, we have smoke rounds. Now, smoke rounds are pretty goddamn finicky with the 320. Takes a lot of practice to be accurate with them. Reason being, physics are a little wonky, and you can chuck one out there 200 meters away, and it'll bounce another 200 to 300 meters beyond that. So it takes a lot of practice to be proficient with them. Next, we have Hunt IR rounds. Hunt IR rounds are essentially a camera in the warhead instead of an explosive device. What will happen when the grenade is launched up into the air, when it reaches its maximum height, a parachute will deploy from the back of the grenade. You can then use a device to connect to that camera in the nose and look through it. Now, Hunt IR rounds are only carried by platoon HQ and above. The reason I bring them up, however, is if at some point in time you find yourself sitting there covering a sector and you hear a thumper go off, and then you look up in the sky and see a white fucking parachute floating down, do not freak out. It is not enemy paratroopers. It is not the fucking aliens coming to invade. It's a goddamn camera. Don't shoot at it. Lastly, we have illumination rounds. Now, you may think illumination rounds are kind of fucking silly considering we all have night vision. However, I will tell you from personal experience, when the fog is super thick, night vision doesn't do dick. Illumination is your best friend. Next weapon system we're going to go over. It's the M249 Squad Automatic Weapon, or simply the SAW. The M249 is a machine gun that is gas-operated, air-cooled, belt or magazine-fed, and fires from the open bolt position. It is chambered in the same 5.56 NATO round as the M4 and has a maximum rate of fire of 850 rounds per minute, with a maximum area target range of 1,200 meters. Now notice that I did not give you a point target range. Reason being, the M249 is not used to engage a point target. Now that does not mean you can't engage an individual person with one. It means that you do not tap fire it or single fire it or whatever other stupid shit you learned from CSGO. It means you fire the SAW in a burst of generally 3 to 5 rounds. You always fire in bursts. We'll go over rates of fire more later. But generally with the SAW, you're going to aim at their kneecaps and let your burst rip off. Does anybody have a guess as to why you aim at their kneecaps?
I'd say because of the recoil.
Exactly. Recoil, weapon rise. Aim at their kneecaps, let your weapon walk itself up their body. By the time you're done, your last round should be landing at their collarbone. Always aim low and let your weapon walk itself up their body. Do not try and do your best fucking Chris Kyle impression and use a saw to go for headshots. You look like a fucking idiot and waste a lot of ammunition. Next weapon system we're going to go over. The M240 Bravo. The M240 Bravo is a belt-fed, air-cooled, gas-operated, fully automatic machine gun that fires from the open bolt position and is chambered in the 7.62 NATO round. So it is essentially the bigger, badder, meaner brother to the M249. It has a maximum area target range of 1,800 meters, so it will reach the fuck out there and touch someone, hence why we affectionately refer to it as the big black dick of freedom. Now the 240 Bravo is carried by 11 Bravo machine gunners within the unit. Do not at any point in time confuse machine gunners for saw gunners. Guys that carry the M249 saw are simply 11 Bravos who happen to carry a saw. Guys that carry the 240 are 11 Bravo machine gunners. They have gone through special training to be qualified on that weapon system. Next, we're going to go over some of the shoulder-fired munitions that we have, the launchers. First one being the M136 AT4. Is a lightweight, self-contained SLM design for use against light and improved armor. It has a maximum effective range of 300 meters and is wrapped in a disposable fiberglass tube. And what that means is maximum effective range of 300 meters. It does not mean you can't hit a target beyond 300 meters. However, it is not going to be as effective. It is again in a disposable fiberglass tube. You get the AT4 pre-loaded. It already has a rocket in it. Once you fire it, it's done. You cannot reuse it. You cannot reload that weapon system. So once you fire an AT4, you throw it on the fucking ground. Same goes for its little brother that we also use, the M72 Law. The M72 is a slightly smaller rocket, but the same principles. It's a disposable launcher, fire the rocket, chuck it on the ground. Now as far as what the Law and the AT4 can engage, you'll go over more of that on day 3. Next we have the M3 Carl Gustav, or the Maus. The Maus is essentially the big brother to the AT4. While it is the same caliber of round, it is a much larger round. If you don't understand how that works, caliber meaning it's the same diameter. However, it's larger. It's a longer round. And unlike the AT4, the Maus is a recoilless rifle, and it can be reloaded. So you can put multiple rounds through it. It also has a much farther effective range. Maximum effective range of the Maus in ArmA is about 900 meters. In real life, it can fire quite a bit farther than that, but for ArmA, it's about 900 meters. Now, also in real life, the Maus can fire multiple different types of rounds. For us, though, all of our AT only uses one type of round. That round is known as HEAT, High Explosive Anti-Tank. So it is only used for armor. Again, high explosive anti-tank. All of our launchers are the exact same ammunition type. So do not try and get the brilliant idea of launching a fucking AT4 at a bunker. It's not what it's made for. The actual piercing part of that round is maybe an inch in diameter. It ain't gonna do shit to a bunker. Last shoulder fire weapon system we have is the FGM-148 Javelin missile system. Now the FGM-148 Javelin missile system is known as a system because it comes in multiple parts. There's the missile, the tube, and the clue. Now the clue is the command launch unit. If you've ever seen a Javelin, that's that black plastic looking thing that hangs off the tube that you see the guys looking through. Now in actuality, the clue and the tube are transported completely separately. Because oftentimes, you will see guys using the clue simply for target acquisition. Our guys do the same thing, however in ArmA, you can't separate the clue from the tube. So if you want to use the clue, you have to pull the tube out. However, it's still used in the same way, because javelins have full thermal capabilities. So you can use it to scan the horizon for thermal signatures. You don't have to be engaging a target with it to be able to use it to find targets. Now the javelin is most known for 1, its power, and 2, its unique angle of attack. The javelin, when firing, after hitting the trigger, the missile will fly a couple feet out from the tube, and then the primary engine will fire. When the primary engine will fire, that's when you'll see that missile fucking skyrocket up into the air. The reason it does that is because the javelin uses a unique top-down attack. So it hits an armored target from the top, which is almost always the weak spot within armor, is the top plate. So that's where the javelin hits it. It is hands down the most powerful anti-tank weapon that we have as infantry. So when you see the weapons guys pull out the javelins, it's probably because we're going up against some big shit. It also has an incredibly distinctive sound when it is fired. And since the javelin has lock-on capability, every time you hear that thing fire, you know that's a piece of armor that's about to die. Now, does anybody have any questions at this point?
No, First Sergeant.
No, for
No,
Sergeant.
no.
No, First Sergeant.
Alright. Now what we're going to do is go over the hand-thrown munitions. Those are grenades. First one we're going to be going over is the M67 fragmentation grenade. Now the M67 consists of a pre-fragmented steel body filled with 6.5 ounces of explosives. It has a kill radius of 15 meters and a fragmentation dispersal radius of up to 230 meters, and a fuse of 3.2 to 4.2 seconds. So, the way that works, if you do not understand how a grenade works, if you envision your stereotypical grenade, you have your pin, your spoon, and your body. The pin holds the spoon to the body. When you pull the pin, it doesn't mean dick all. When you release the spoon, that's when the fuse starts to burn. Then you throw the body. Now, if you've ever played most shooters, you probably know or heard of a term known as cooking a grenade. To cook a grenade, it means you have pulled the pin, released the spoon, and let the fuse burn before actually throwing it. It's a way to give the enemy less time to react to the grenade. Great idea in theory. In actual practice, it's the most fucking terrifying thing you can do. To know you are carrying damn near half a pound of explosive in your hand and that 4-second fuse is burning. And I'll tell you, when you do it in real life, the instructor will tell you count to 2 and throw. That is the fastest 2 count you will ever make. Because again, you're carrying half a pound of explosive in your fucking hand. So while it may sound cool, it is not a good idea to cook a fucking frag grenade. More often than not, you will blow yourself up or someone else that you should not be blowing up. Next one we're going to cover is the M84 flashbang, or the stun grenade as it's labeled in the arsenal. The M84 is a diversionary device used for building and room clearing. It has a 1 to 2 second fuse, where upon detonation it will emit a blinding flash and a deafening bang, hence flashbang. Now obviously, with a 1 to 2 second fuse, a flashbang is not a grenade you want to fucking cook off. Now the downside to a flashbang in ArmA is the AI. If the AI do not have the flashbang within their cone of vision, it has absolutely zero effect on them, which is incredibly infuriating. Because I can tell you, if a flashbang goes off in a room you're in, whether you're fucking looking at it or not, you are going to be fumble fucked. That deafening bang has more effect than just making you lose your hearing and your ears ringing for a second. It will completely dis-fucking-combobulate you. However, ArmA AI gives exactly 0 fucks about that. So there may be a time where you throw a flashbang into a room and then breach, and the AI still shoots you because they did not see the flashbang. However, that does not mean don't use your flashbangs, because when it does work, it sends the AI into a fucked up animation for 15 seconds and they can't do anything to you. So use your fucking flashbangs. There's a reason we all carry them. Last one we're going to cover is our M18 smoke grenades. The M18s are a canister type grenade where after releasing the spoon they will start emitting a large plume of smoke. Now there are multiple colors of smoke used for multiple different things. First 2 colors of smoke, being white and yellow, are used for concealment. So if you need to conceal your movement from one position to another, you will use white or yellow smoke. Understand, however, that smoke is not a magical fucking bulletproof wall. Just because you throw smoke down does not mean the enemy has to stop shooting at you. And it sure as fuck does not mean you are safe to remain exactly where you are. In fact, it is quite the goddamn opposite. Because if the enemy is shooting at you and you deploy smoke, they already know where the fuck you are. If you throw smoke and just stay sitting there, guess what? They still know where the fuck you are. So if you throw smoke, it's because you are moving from that position and you don't want the enemy to see where you fucking moved to. Next we have green smoke. Green smoke is used to signal friendly positions. Red smoke is used to mark enemy positions. Do not at any point in time ever throw a red smoke on a friendly position. If you do by accident, make goddamn sure you call it out immediately and send it up your chain of command so that they can get it up to the task force commander, who can in turn get it to air assets. Reason being, when air assets see red smoke, again, that signals an enemy position. So they go into fucking kill mode. Do not throw red smoke on a friendly position. Next we have blue smoke. Blue smoke is used to mark a broken chain of command. For you, it essentially means stay the fuck away from there. Things are bad, people are dead or dying, command line is broken, stay the fuck out of the way, set up security, pick up a sector, and do your job. Same goes for the next one, which is purple smoke. Purple smoke is only carried by our 68 whiskeys, our medics. Purple smoke is used to mark a mass casualty incident, or an MCI, or simply a mass CAS. Medics are the only ones who decide whether or not a situation is an MCI. They are the only ones trained well enough to decide whether they can handle that medical situation on their own or if they need help. If they pop purple smoke, that signals to every medical personnel in the area, I need help, and they will come running. If you see purple smoke, stay the fuck away from it, unless you are specifically ordered to go there and set up security. And when you set up security around an MCI, you are doing exactly that, holding security. You are not helping with first aid, you are not looking at the fucking medics behind you. You have your rifle pointed outwards, and you are ready to engage a target should it present itself. Those medics are your top fucking priority when it comes to their safety. Lastly, we have orange smoke. Orange smoke is carried by team leaders. It is used to mark that area of demolitions. Every team leader carries an M112 demolition block. When he places that block and puts the detonator on it, he will then deploy an orange smoke directly on top of it. That signals to everyone around there that there are demolitions placed and they are going to be going off soon. So if at any point in time you see orange smoke while you're out in the field, stay the fuck away from it, because that entire area is about to go boom. Does anybody have any questions on the smoke color designations?
No, First
No,
Sergeant.
First Sergeant.
No, First Sergeant.
Outstanding. Now, does anybody have any questions on anything that we have covered thus far?
No, First Sergeant.
No, First Sergeant.
No, First Sergeant.
All right. So, what we're going to do now, before we actually head out to the field, since we've been at it for a minute, and I could use some fucking liquids, I'm going to give you guys 5 mics. Grab yourself something to drink, take a piss, rub one out, whatever the fuck it is you got to do, but you got 5 minutes. Once we get back, we'll head out to the range and actually get some hands-on time with the rifles and so on. Your time starts now. All right, guys. Whew, that's a lot of talking. I see you guys were chatting quite a bit there. I'm sorry I missed that, but obviously a little fucking busy. So yeah, hopefully, I've seen somebody was asking a question about something. Hopefully you guys were able to get that squared away, and if you did, I appreciate that. Let's see how long Myers has got left here. That's the only downside with doing this is because he's using the day 3 template right now, and I need the range, which is on the day 1 template, and I can't load that while he's using the day 3 template, so we have to kind of coordinate this. And I'll actually be right back. I'm going to grab me a fresh monster here real quick. Alright, we are back. Let's see if... Why hasn't Myers responded, goddammit? Yeah, Margie, it's getting worked on. I don't think we're gonna add back in the day 4 templates, like with the pre-made missions, because I didn't really like them, mostly because they were built like shit. So we'll just, stick with building our own, but a lot of the other stuff is getting fixed. S4 is working on it right now. Yeah, you missed everything. And also, hello, Sphero. I did not see you sneak in here. The fuck is my... Myers doing, god damn it? We'll remove the markers. Yeah, the markers are going to get taken off for the, day 4 stuff. Obviously, all the other days are still going to be on there. God damn it, 10 minutes. Fucking Christ. All right. Want everybody to stand up. Do that by using your scroll wheel and selecting stand up. All right, follow me outside. Finally closed on your house yesterday? Nice. Fucking outstanding, Vertigo. It's always a great feeling, man, when you sign those papers and you know it's yours. Alright. You guys are going to step inside here. When you step inside, you're going to see a door to the left. You're going to open that door, you're going to see a box on the right-hand side. That box is an arsenal. You're going to use that arsenal to load a rifleman loadout. Each one of you are going to take a rifleman loadout. Once you have grabbed that loadout, you will step back out here and form a single file line. Move. Last Christmas present, your rifleman? Yeah.
Would you like me to load up as a rifleman?
No, you're fine.
Okay.
I will PT you all until you fucking die!
Freeze your neighbor's pipes as well. Yeah. Dude, it's been fucking crazy cold. The other night it got down to, it was like negative 22 or something with wind chill. It was fucking rowdy, dude. Hey, we'll see you later, Great. Have a good weekend, bud. Yeah, we had another one of those fucking polar vortexes come down from Canada. Last time it happened, dude, it was like negative 30 to negative 40 for a week straight. It was a couple years ago. Alright. I want you guys to press I as an indigo. Open your inventory. On the right hand side of your inventory, under your rifle, you will see the magazine for your rifle. You are going to click that and drag it into your vest. You are then going to take the night vision and drag it into your backpack. It is the middle of the fucking morning. You do not need night vision. Now I want you to escape from your inventory and press the number 7 on your number row on your keyboard. This will select your non-lethal grenades. This is the demeanor you are to have anytime you are in a training environment. Magazine removed from your weapon with non-lethal grenades selected. Having that magazine removed from your weapon is what is known as Condition 4. Alright, so anytime someone tells you to condition your weapon or condition for your weapon, that's what it means. Remove the magazine from it. Does not mean to sling your weapon, does not mean to do anything else with it. Simply means remove the ammunition from it so you cannot accidentally shoot someone in the ass. Now, the reason that you have selected your non-lethal grenades is so that you do not do something known as a bad frag. A bad frag is where you throw a frag in a bad fucking place. Like, oh, say, where an entire task force ground element is fucking lined up in formation. So anytime you get into a server and grab your gear, it's always a good idea, as soon as you get out of the arsenal, to press the number 7. So you do not accidentally throw a frag grenade when you press the fucking golf key. At least then you're only throwing a smoke, which is much, much better, somewhat, than a frag. Still going to get your ass chewed out for throwing a fucking grenade when you shouldn't be, but it's better than killing somebody. That being said, what we're going to do real quick, so that it is virtually impossible for you to accidentally throw a grenade, is to change some fucking hotkeys for you. So, what I want you to do is press escape and go to configure, and then go to controls. Then in the drop down menu, you're going to go to weapons. In that weapons menu, you are going to scroll down about halfway to where you see throw on the left hand side. You are then going to click on that and delete that hotkey. And do not forget to hit OK when you are done with it. Once you have that hotkey deleted, you are then going to go down to configure add-ons. Under configure add-ons, in the drop down, you're going to go to ACE 3 weapons. Once you're in ACE 3 weapons, you're going to scroll down towards the bottom to where it says prepare change throwable. And you will set that hotkey to G or whatever the fuck you want it to be to throw your grenade. And again, make sure you hit OK after you change it. Now once you are done with all of that, if you were to hit G as in golf, it will then pull up the ACE Advanced Throw menu, which will show you the actual arc of the grenade. If you scroll your mouse wheel, it will change it from a regular throw to a high throw, so you can throw it over, say, a fucking M-wall. However, it will not actually throw a grenade until you left click. If you do not want to throw a grenade, you right click and cancel it. If you want to cook a grenade, which again is a stupid fucking idea, you click down on your middle mouse button. Does anybody have any questions on that?
No, First Sergeant.
No, First Sergeant.
Alright. Now since the range isn't open for us yet, the other class is still out there, we're going to quickly go over the actual procedure to throw a grenade here. So, anytime we throw a grenade, we always verbalize what type of grenade it is, and then we say out, as in outbound. Okay, so if you're throwing a frag grenade, for example, you would say frag out. That way everybody around you knows you're throwing an outbound fragmentation grenade. Because if you simply yell frag, that means it's an incoming grenade. Alright, so make sure you say frag out, and then you throw the grenade. Do not say frag out while the grenade is already flying through the fucking air. Kind of defeats the purpose. Say frag out, and then throw the grenade. Same goes again for the other grenades. So if it's a flashbang, say flash out. If it's smoke, you can say smoke out. You don't have to say smoke out with a smoke, but still good practice. Now once you say frag out and throw the grenade, does anybody have a guess as to the next step that you should take?
You take cover?
Outstanding. You take cover. Get behind something solid so that you don't blow your fucking self up. Now we're going to practice this in just a moment once the other class gets back here, so stand by for a hot fucking second. Stark, question.
Should I be carrying Vector 21?
Yeah, in a moment.
Oh, okay.
Just woke up. Nice. Yeah, somewhat, Razor. I mean, we got 4 going through this class of day 1 and 2 right now, and 3 going through day 3 and 4 at the same time. Alright, stand by there. Oh, I know, man. This year has fucking flown by. Jesus. Like, it's fucking... It boggles my mind that I moved 5 fucking months ago already. Alright, looks like it's all done now. Let's see, is the flag there? Not yet. Step 4. I guess I should probably grab myself a rifle and a fucking launcher. Oh yeah, forgot I had a fresh monster sitting here. Haha, it's like Christmas all over again. Oh, and I forgot to mute my microphone, so I probably just blew your guys' eardrums out. Apologies for that. But fuck you, my monster's more important. Alright, looks like we're all good now. Alright, follow me. Yeah, I'm ready for winter stand down to be over. Ready to get back into training. Alright, you guys are going to approach this first flagpole. You're going to scroll until you see Weapons Range Complex, and then hit your space bar. This will teleport you out to the Weapons Range Complex. Do it. Alright, follow me over to the grenade range, step it up to a jog. Helps if I go to the right fucking range. Alright, go ahead and line yourselves up along these sandbags. Alright. You guys are going to take turns one at a time throwing grenades. Now, right now, you currently have smoke grenades selected. You're not each going to throw a fucking smoke grenade. But what I am going to do is demonstrate for you very quickly the effectiveness of a smoke grenade. Firstly, I want you guys to hold shift and press K as in kilo. You're going to see a little green arrow pop up, along with a couple of dots. That is a windage indicator. It will show you the strength and direction of the current wind. This is very useful when using a smoke grenade. So, if for example, we wanted to conceal ourselves from that machine gun bunker directly ahead of you, if the smoke is going to be blown from right to left because of the wind, it would kind of be fucking pointless to throw the smoke over to the left side of the bunker. So, you would take that knowledge given to you by the windage indicator and throw the smoke over to the right hand side. So very quickly, for an example, throw a smoke over here to the right, and it'll fucking bounce way off into nowhere. Now notice how long it takes for the smoke to plume. Okay, that is important. When you throw a smoke grenade, you need to wait for that smoke to plume. Right? It's kind of fucking pointless to throw a smoke and immediately start running before it has a chance to conceal anything. Now, had that one actually landed where it was supposed to, there in front of the fucking wall, it would have concealed the entirety of that fucking bunker from us. So one smoke grenade could have concealed that entire area very easily. So keep that in mind, right? When you need to get smoke out for concealment, you don't need 15 fucking guys throwing smoke grenades. 1 or 2 can usually fucking handle it, no problem. Now, for the frag grenades. If you press the number 6 on your number row, that will switch to your lethal grenades. Ensure now that you have your grenades, your lethal grenades selected, your frags. Now, before we throw any frags, you guys are going to need to put your earplugs in. So use your A self-interact to put in your earplugs so you don't go fucking deaf. Does everybody have their earplugs in?
Yes, First Sergeant.
Yes, First Sergeant.
Alright, I didn't hear anybody say no. So, we're going to go right down the line, from left to right. Whoever the fuck's down there on the far left end, make sure you're on yelling. You don't know how to go to yelling, Control Tab. Make sure you're on yelling. Call frag out, and then throw your fucking grenade whenever you're ready.
Is there a specific place you'd like me to throw it, First Sergeant?
Preferably downrange.
Okay. Frag out.
Oh, your meter is frozen as well. Alright, good job to the 3 of you that ducked. Foster, congratulations, you're dead. Somebody throws a fucking frag grenade, get behind cover. If the cover is below your kneecaps, it's probably a good idea to go fucking prone. Foster, go ahead and throw a grenade whenever you're ready.
Frag out.
Alright, Bose. I was fucking talented. You guys knew to get behind cover, and he didn't even say anything about a frag going out. Alright, Stark, you're next.
Frag out.
What the fuck? How did that hit me? Oh, is our fucking God mode broken again? God damn it. Alright. With the exception of Bo's not calling the frag, that wasn't too bad. Now, we could sit out here all fucking day throwing grenades, but we don't have goddamn time for it. So, what we're going to do now is head over to the AT range and actually give you guys a chance to fire the AT-4s. So, follow me.
Quick question. You guys actually hear Bose say frag out? I thought I heard him.
I heard him, yes, Sergeant.
I heard
I
it,
think
yes.
there might be something wrong with your push to talk. I think you might be using in-game voice. That is standard ArmA.
Yeah, if you're using in-game VoIP, turn that shit off, because nobody's going to fucking hear you.
Yeah, he's got standard ArmA push to talk interfering.
Alright, let's go.
Leading.
I think the first sergeant is bleeding.
Going.
Alright. Get yourselves lined up there along the sandbags.
Need morphine?
I'm perfectly fine. If I needed a tampon because I was bleeding, I would have asked your mother for one.
Will do.
Yes, he did almost say Staff Sergeant. Alright. Turn around. Everybody see this set of boxes underneath the cargo net?
Yes, first sergeant.
For Sergeant.
You're going to step up to this set of boxes under the cargo net, go into the inventory, and grab one Vector 21 Knight for each one of you. Do so now. Once you have your Vector, move back to the sandbags. Now, in order to use your vectors, by default, you press the B key, as in Bravo. That will pull out your vectors. Go ahead and do so now. Now, if you right-click, you will actually look through your vectors. While looking through your vectors, if you hold down the R key, as in Romeo, until a little red circle pops up, and then release it, it will then give you the range to a target. So if you put those little crosshairs on a target, hold down Romeo, wait for the red circle to pop up, release it, it will then pop up with a set of numbers. That number is the range to that target from your current position. Now, if you hold down Tab, it will then give you the current azimuth to the target, or the bearing. You can do both at the same time. I am not a fucking sorry first sergeant. So let's try that again. What can I help you with, Private Foster?
First Sergeant, how do you pull up the first night?
Pull up the what?
Sorry, the Vector Knight.
B, as in Bravo.
It's not working for me there, First Sergeant.
Is it in your inventory?
Yes, First Sergeant.
And you're pressing B now and nothing is happening.
We equip it in the binocular slot.
There we are. Sorry, First Sergeant.
I'm still not a sorry First Sergeant. If you apologize to me any fucking more, I'm going to make you write me a love letter. Now, again, looking through the vectors. You hold tab, it will give you the azimuth. If you hold Romeo, it will give you the range. You can do both of them at the same time so that you can quickly rattle off a range and bearing. Not very difficult. However, it is incredibly important for what you guys are about to use, and that is the AT4. Now, there are steps to go through to fire that AT4. This is the first step, acquiring a target. Now, generally, the first step of acquiring the target is going to fall on the battle buddy of the rifleman who is carrying the AT4. That battle buddy is usually going to be the grenadier. So that grenadier, upon receiving a report of armor in the area, is going to pull out his vectors and search for that target. Once he gets eyes on, he's going to get that range and that bearing. He is then going to feed that information to the rifleman, who is now the shooter. So that information is going to consist of three things: distance, direction, description. All right, the 3 Ds: distance, direction, description. You give anybody those 3 pieces of information, they can find a target and kill it. So that grenadier will find the target, get the range on it, get the bearing on it, and then, again, relay that information to the shooter with the AT4. So he'll tell him something along the lines of BTR, bearing 160, range 249 meters. All right, very, very simple. Another thing to keep in mind there, individual numerals, okay? It is not bearing 160. It is bearing 160. Remember, clear and concise communications. Right? Individual numerals is the way to be clear and concise. So, he feeds those 3 Ds to the shooter. Now, the shooter, or the rifleman, with the AT4, will pull the AT4 off of his back. However, it's not ready to fire. You have to first prep the weapon. You do that by pressing Romeo. That will prep the weapon and open the actual sight. Then you need to range the weapon. You range the weapon by pressing page up and page down. It ranges in 50-meter increments. Once you have the weapon ranged to the closest 50-meter increment of the target, and you see the target, you then call eyes on. Still can't fire yet. Once you call eyes on, you are then going to give a command. That command is clear backblast. Clear backblast means to clear out the fucking area behind that tube. Now, if you guys look at the back of that tube, you will see that conical shape at the back of it. That will give you a general idea of the radius of backblast that that thing is going to give out. Everybody 50 meters or closer directly behind you and within that cone needs to get the fuck out of the way. So you yell, clear backblast. The spotter will then look behind you so you do not have to take your eyes off target. He will give you one of 2 responses. Either backblast not clear, meaning there's someone in the way, do not fire, or backblast clear, which means you're good to fire. Now, if he says backblast not clear, then you once again say clear backblast. Then the spotter will look again and will give you one of 2 responses. Either backblast clear or backblast not clear. However, after saying clear backblast the second time, frankly, it doesn't matter what the fuck he says because you're clear to fire. If someone is too goddamn window licking retarded to get out of the way of that rocket blast, After you call it a second time, it's their own goddamn fault. Because that piece of armor you're engaging is a much bigger threat than them getting knocked on their ass by a little bit of wind. Now, when you do get that clear command, much like a grenade, you're going to call what you're doing. So you're going to say rocket, and then you're going to pull the trigger. And again, much like a grenade, it defeats the fucking purpose if you say rocket when the damn thing is already flying out the end of the tube. So you say rocket, wait a hot second, and then fire. Alright, is everybody tracking so far?
Yes, First Sergeant.
Yes, First Sergeant.
Alright. What you guys are going to do now is you're going to pair up. So Montez and Foster, you're together. Stark and Bose, you're together. One person's going to spot, one person's going to shoot, and then you're going to swap. I do not give a shit what you shoot at out here. Again, these are only used for AT, but we don't have a whole lot of armor sitting out here at the moment, so fire whatever the fuck you feel like. This is not about engaging specific targets. This is about going through the correct steps and procedures. All right, range is hot whenever you guys are ready.
Do you want to fire first, boss?
Sure, man. I'll go.
Hey, Montez, you want to fire first?
Oh, Jesus. I need to hurry up and get this shit done. I got a race to do here shortly.
100 meters.
Oh yeah, which by the way, guys, when this stream is over, I'll immediately be going into a GT3 race at Mugello. So I'll be having another stream right after this is done.
On target, prepping rocket.
On target, prepping rocket.
Rocket prepped. Clear backblast.
Backblast clear.
Backblast clear.
Backblast clear. Rocket, rocket, rocket.
Backblast clear.
God, I hate cook-off.
Good hit.
Alright, want to give her a go there, Stark? I'll spot for you, man.
Yeah, go ahead, spot.
Who in the fuck was that?
Backblast is clear.
You sound Minnesota as fuck. Wanna give it a go there?
Just high.
Just high. I'm fucking 100 meters behind it. The fucking shot was longer than my dick.
You want to give it a go?
Yeah,
Hey,
sure.
cast.
So it looks like we got a BRDM bearing 126 degrees. Range 549er. It's a distance out there, but maybe you can reach out and touch it.
If you're about to shoot, put your fucking vectors away.
Trying to find you something here.
You see him out there, Stark?
This is very fair, but I see eyes on.
You're gonna want to aim using the bottom plate of the side at
So,
500.
BRD.
Could have swore I heard him Maple Leaf, yeah.
2 mils left of bunker.
They sound a little
Right,
Canadian, eh?
Clear backblast.
Oh yeah, he's Canadian as fuck, you know.
Backblast clear.
Distance
Rocket.
298. Direction.
I'm a pretty good shot.
A little short. Add 100.
Roger.
Deep.
Is he gonna add 100 to the rock he's about to throw at it? Because that's all he's got left. Fucking rocket's only single fire.
Roger, First Sergeant. Just going through drills.
Am I not loud enough? Thought I was on yelling.
First Sergeant, question for you.
Yeah.
If I'm the shooter, how am I to get my bearing without the binoculars?
Press K as in kilo.
Roger. Montez, I'm good whenever you are.
Okay. Did you not hear me?
Negative.
Okay.
Distance
is 297. Direction is 140. Description is a Jeep. Armored Jeep.
Copy. Target acquired. 290 distance. 140 bearing. Clear backblast.
It's cute when they try to sound tactical.
Backblast clear.
No, Smith, unfortunately I won't be able to because I gotta cut to go do this race. I was hoping Myers would stick around, but that fucker ditched me. So I gotta rip through this,
Rocket out.
fucking rates of fire real quick. Jesus Christ, where the hell was that? Alright. Congratulations, you guys tilled more dirt than a fucking potato farmer. Now, unfortunately, we don't have time to sit out here all fucking day firing AT rockets. I wish we did, but we don't. So, we're gonna head over to the rifle range. Follow me.
I will PT you all until you fucking die!
Cast, thank you for the follow. Or Cast Thunder, I guess is the correct way to say your name. But I prefer to call you Cast, so that's what I'm gonna call you. Yeah, right on. And Smith, if you want to hop in here and go over formations, you're more than welcome to, but unfortunately I don't have the time. Alright. Here we're going to be going over different rates of fire with the weapon systems that we use. First one we're going to cover is the M4. Because again, that's what the majority of us carry. Now there are 3 rates of fire. There's sustained, rapid, and cyclic. Now a sustained rate of fire consists of 1 round every 2 to 3 seconds and is used for targets beyond 250 meters. It is the most accurate way to engage a target. Rapid rate of fire is essentially doubling it. So 2 rounds every 2 to 3 seconds. This is where something like a double tap comes into play for targets inside of 250 meters. Alright, 2 quick rounds to their chest and then reacquire the target. Cyclic does not mean you flip the fun switch and just hold the trigger down and let her eat. Alright, that is not what cyclic is used for. Cyclic is to fire in a burst. With the M4, a cyclic rate of fire consists of 3 to 5 rounds every 2 to 3 seconds. This is used for danger close targets, or targets inside of 50 meters, right on top of you. Alright. Now, for a quick example, alright, a sustained rate of fire will sound something along the lines of this. Now, a rapid rate of fire will sound along the lines of this. And a cyclic rate of fire will sound like this. Alright, everybody understand that?
Yes, sir.
Yes, First Sergeant.
Alright. Now the next one to go over is with the machine guns, more specifically with the saw. Because that's the only thing you're going to be using while you're in OSUT. Now the saw, again, you only fire it in bursts. So a sustained rate of fire with the saw consists of a 3 to 5 round burst. Now an easy way to achieve that 3 to 5 round burst is to memorize a phrase. That phrase is die motherfucker die. In that same cadence. Die motherfucker die. You say that in your head when you hit the trigger. When you finish, you let go of the trigger. Say it in your head though. Alright, you say it out loud, you sound like a fucking psycho. Now, a rapid rate of fire, just like with the M4, is essentially doubling your rate of fire. So instead of 3 to 5 rounds every 2 to 3 seconds, you do 5 to 10. Same goes for cyclic. Cyclic, you're doubling the rate of fire of rapid. So in a cyclic rate of fire, you're firing 10 to 15 rounds every 2 to 3 seconds. Now, as you can imagine, cyclic rate of fire is a lot of fucking bullets flying down range. It is incredibly rare that a saw gunner or a 11 Bravo machine gunner will use a cyclic rate of fire. Reason for that being, and the same reason for any cyclic rate of fire being rarely used, is ammo conservation. Or we go out with a finite amount of ammo. There is never a guarantee that we will get resupplied. So if you go out in full battle rattle carrying 12 magazines for your M4 and you rip through the first 9 magazines in a 10-minute engagement, it's not going to be a good time for you. You have to keep your ammo supply in the back of your mind at all times. Same goes for when you're a saw gunner. All right, you go out there with a saw, between you and the rest of your team, you're going to be carrying 1,000 rounds. That 1,000 rounds does not last as long as you may think. Especially when you consider that our operations are anywhere from 2 to 3 hours long, and you could be in heavy engagement that entire time. However, the saving grace that you have is numbers. When you take into account that there are 10 men in a squad, that is 8 M4s and 2 saws in every rifle squad. If every one of those guys is maintaining a sustained rate of fire on the same target, that is a virtual wall of fucking lead flying down range. So that is something you need to pay attention to when engaging a target. If you have multiple rifles engaging the same target, which you should, then you can maintain a lower rate of fire, because combined you actually have a higher rate of fire. Is everybody tracking on that?
Yes,
First Sergeant.
Yes, First Sergeant.
All right. Now there is also a technique used by machine gunners known as talking guns. That technique is a way to maintain a high rate of fire while decreasing your ammo usage. Now the way it works is you both use a sustained rate of fire, and one gun is firing while the other one is pausing. So if you have gun 1 fire a 3 to 5 round burst, while he's pausing for that couple of seconds, gun 2 fires his 3 to 5 round burst, and you just go back and forth until one gun needs to reload. When that gun needs to reload, the other guy needs to move up to a rapid rate of fire to make up for that gun being down. As soon as that gun is back up, he'll then reload, and the first gun will pick up a rapid rate of fire to make up for the second gun reloading. Once the second gun is back up, they both fall back into a sustained rate of fire. All right, very, very simple technique. Can be used with 2 guns, can be used with fucking 20 guns, as long as the guys are coordinated enough. Very simple, very fucking effective. Anybody have any questions on that?
No, First Sergeant.
No, First
All right. Then stand by for one hot second. Hey, and Smith with the sub. Thank you very much. Alright, let's get an arsenal down here. What am I looking for? Arsenal, that's it. Alright. Down at the bottom there, you're going to see a Connex box. Inside that Connex box is an arsenal. Inside that arsenal is the different rifles that we use. I am now going to give you guys 10 minutes on this range to use any of the rifles that you would like to try out. Notice I said rifles. Do not, at any point, fire any type of fucking HE on my rifle range. Is that clear?
Yes, for Sergeant.
Yes, for Sergeant.
Yes, for Sergeant.
Alright, each one of you guys are going to take one of these shooting bays. Use, again, any rifle you wish. Practice your rates of fire. The range is hot. You guys can begin whenever you're ready.
I will PT you all until you fucking die!
Hey, Looney, thank you for the follow.
Is he gonna be alright, First Sergeant? I think he tripped.
How in the fuck do you kill yourself?
Good.
Thank you.
Hold still, hold still.
Jesus
That was
Christ.
Very strange.
He's fully healed. He does not need any medical attention.
Copy.
Ugh, Jesus. Tripping is an age-old technique only known by a select few, yeah. I personally like to refer to it as accidental dirt diving. Right now I'm gonna grab the machine gun yet. It's usually the first fucking thing people go for. Not necessarily Maverick. Grew up in a military family and worked as a contractor for 2 years. Was that Smith coming to bail me out? Good afternoon, Sergeant Smith. Tends to help if he's in TeamSpeak. This is where I talk shit to Smith. Oh, there you fucking go. Alright, yeah, you good to take him over the formations range?
Yes.
Alright, that's all they'll need. Yeah, I'm not gonna bother stopping them. Just give them, I don't know, 5 more mics and, call ceasefire and take them over there. Hold on, I'll fucking pull you a truck over here real quick so you can just drive them over there. Alright, truck sitting out there, just drive them over there when you're done, or when they're done. Alright, spank you much.
You're welcome.
Oh yeah, I would hope so, Maverick. I was fucking surrounded by him for 24 months. Or 22, actually. Does RHS have ACUs? I don't know if they added them in the last update or not. I don't fucking pay attention to any of that shit. Let's wait for Soto to be like, hey, check this out. Okay, cool. Alright, guys. So, what we're going to do is I'm going to end it here for a quick couple of minutes. I'll be back in like 10, maybe 15 minutes. For a GT3 race at Mugello, where I will be driving the glorious Nissan GTR. So if you guys want to check that out, make sure you hang out for a little bit, because again, I'll be right back. But if not, all good. Thank you guys for hanging out, and hopefully you enjoyed listening to me talk for like 2 fucking hours straight. So yeah, I will see you guys in a bit.